Back in 2015, at just 14 years old, I just finished making my first ever C++ game. I made it in code blocks, and it was a few hundred lines of code. And the game was Five Nights at Freddy's, in the console. But that was just level 1 of 5 in making games in C++, and I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to be able to make real games in C++, with graphics, and even make my own Minecraft clone. So today, we will look at the 5 levels of C++ game dev, and for every level, I will tell you exactly what to do and where to learn from to level up, so you can get to level 5 faster than I did. At level 4, you can make your own game engine. So what could possibly be at level 5? Level 1, making games in the console. Everyone starts learning C++ from the console, but with just a little creativity, you can turn that console into your playground and make games in it. It can be something as simple as a text-based story game, and as it is tradition with this type of 5-level videos I make, if you get to make a real-time game in the console, you officially lose any chance of ever speaking to a girl again. Congrats! No need to worry or be sad about it. It's not like you ever talked with any girl before. So at least now you can be sure it will never happen. Now you can practice this level by following some tutorials from Gamedev. He made some console game tutorials, and they are super easy to follow. Now when I was at this level, I wanted to eventually make real games with real graphics, but I didn't even know if that was even possible. Everyone I found online was making games using ugly languages like Java or even worse, until eventually I found this YouTube channel, Hobson. Level 2, making a real 2D game. Hobson was not only making games in C++, but he was making them in code blocks, the IDE I was also using, and he made Minecraft in C++. That made me so hyped, because 1, I now had concrete proof that it's possible to make real games in C++. But also, I now had a new life goal, make Minecraft in C++. Now Hobson mentioned using a graphics library called SFML that he used to draw to the screen, giving me a direction. Now linking to SFML was horrible, and it took me forever to do it. If you are here, like you want to make a 2D game, but you can't link a graphics library, I have a super simple solution. You don't have to link that library yourself. Linking libraries is an advanced topic in C++. So I made many working setups that you can just download and use. Watch this video to see how it works. But I would just recommend you use Raylib. It's by far the nicest library there is. And for that I have this video. It's basically a super simple snake game tutorial with Raylib, and no need to do any weird linking. Now at this level, practicing should be your #1 priority. Don't look into weird C++ topics. And absolutely, don't study coding architecture. Most give bad advice like OOP and over-engineering. You have to write code. This is the only way you learn how to code well and how to structure your code well. So do some more tutorials from Gamedev and make some more projects. Ideally, you should make a big project to finish this level. Back when I was this level, I made Terraria in preparation for that Minecraft project. And Terraria is a good project because it starts simple, but at the same time, there are a ton of easy and hard things you can add to it. Just take it step by step and don't plan ahead. Don't even think about how your code will look in the future or what you will add. Just focus on the present. Add a block, then add multiple blocks in a 2D array to represent the world. Then add a camera. Then add the ability to place or break blocks. Then add a player. Don't even think about designing an entity hierarchy at this point. Just add only the player for now. Then add collisions, and so on. Now, if this still feels scary and you are not sure how to structure the code or how to start, you can check out my game dev course. I show you how to make a Terraria-like game step by step, so you can learn how to structure your code well directly from me. But it also has 50+ challenges related to what I show in the course, so you have to actively code a lot of things on your own instead of just blindly following a tutorial and not learning anything. Check the first link in the description and it might have a special discount. But once you make a decent sized 2D game, it's time to go to level 3, making 3D games from scratch. I wanted to make Minecraft in C++ so bad that I spent most of my summer holiday learning OpenGL. In order to display 3D things on the screen, you need to learn a graphics API like OpenGL. This will allow you to use the GPU directly, and the good news is that these APIs are specifically designed to do 3D. The bad news is that it's still super hard. In order to place a single triangle on the screen, you need to write a few hundred lines of OpenGL, and also learn a new programming language. But once I did that, I was able to make a simple 3D game, and then even start working at a Minecraft in C++ project. If you want to get here, listen to this. Many people will say OpenGL is old and deprecated, and that you should learn Vulkan. So first of all, OpenGL is still super used, and it also got some good updates. You can do some amazing things with OpenGL. But the real problem with learning Vulkan is that it is not only way too difficult, but it also has worse tutorials than OpenGL. A triangle in OpenGL takes like 100 lines of code, while a triangle in Vulkan takes 1000 lines of code. And I see so many beginners start with Vulkan, and they eventually get to that Vulkan triangle, and they say, Yeah, well, I managed to get a triangle. Vulcan is not so hard. But do you see the irony here? They just got a triangle, like literally step 1 of 100. And because Vulcan is so hard, this feels like they learned Vulcan, when in fact, they barely started. It literally took me a month to understand shadows in OpenGL. I watched every shadow mapping tutorial on YouTube, and copied the OpenGL code line by line from the tutorial, and once I finally implemented shadows, I realized that was just the beginning, and I had to spend several other months implementing a proper shadow implementation. And after more months, I still struggle with this topic. Now imagine learning this topic in Vulkan, which is 5 times harder, and you also get worse tutorials. The point of graphics programming is not to get a triangle on the screen, but to actually draw graphics, so it's literally faster to learn OpenGL, understand how it works well, and then learn Vulkan, if you want that. So check this video for a few tips about how to learn OpenGL, it's linked in the description. But at level 3, you are still quite a beginner and make bad mistakes. Unlike level 4, real C++ game dev. At this level, making games from scratch feels literally easier than making a game in an engine. One time, I showed my Steam game to a random game developer. We went to my laptop and I opened Visual Studio to build a game, and the guy's face literally dropped in worry. He asked me, "Wait bro, why are you opening Visual Studio? At this point, your games look like real polished games, and everyone will ask you, why don't you use an engine? Wouldn't it be easier to use an engine?" And the answer is, not quite. A game engine helps you prototype a game in the beginning, but in the long term, it might be better for you to not use it if you are at this level. I'm working at a 2D game right now, and it might seem easier to use an engine. But is it really? First of all, the graphics are super simple. I already have a 2D rendering library, and I can easily implement anything I want, super fast. Then, the physics have to be custom made. If you just use the physics from the engine, the game will feel quite bad, so you really need to spend a ton of time on this, no matter if you use an engine or not. And then we get optimizations. Ironically, people that use an engine need to spend way more time thinking about optimizations than me. I recently played 9 Souls, and going from one area to another takes so much time to load. My game literally loads instantly, and I never optimize it for that. Also, I almost never deal with memory management. Memory management in game dev is usually trivially simple. Watch this video to learn how. But ironically, in Unity, with a language where you don't care about memory management, you need to care about memory management. Because if you are not careful, the garbage collector can freeze your game quite badly. All the levels have been amazing so far, but they all pale in comparison compared to the next one. Level 5, C++ Game Dev Master. At this level, you can basically do anything you want, and I mean anything. Personally, I'm close to this level, but not yet there. I can even make multiplayer games, and it won't even feel hard for me to make a game like Valorant from scratch. It's just that it would take me probably 5 to 10 years. Multiplayer is especially hard, maybe even for a level 4, but at level 5 there are no limits. Now again, I'm not there yet. There are still some multiplayer things I struggle with in my Minecraft clone, so probably not just a level 5 game dev master. And he even said that you are not a real game developer if you can make a game without an engine. Hot take, but it's partially true. At this level, you can also tackle the most difficult areas, like super advanced graphics programming, even more advanced than raycasting, or advanced physics simulations, which I'm also not there yet. How do you get there? Well, you may know Gabe Randet. He's extremely advanced at graphics programming, and one thing that surprised me is that he has been learning programming and graphics programming for less time than I did, but he still surpassed me here. He didn't do any magic, he just simply did more hard things than I did. Whenever I get to super advanced graphics programming topics, I get quite scared, but he on the other hand, just went in and did super hard projects. So if you want to get here, you just need to constantly do harder and harder things, and even though they might feel impossible, still try to find more tutorials, more tips, try more, and eventually, you might even get better than Gabe or me. Now if you are stuck at making your first C++ game, try my game dev course for beginners. Most courses are just simply live coded and live recorded, but for my course I went a step further. The entire course was planned, scripted, and edited line by line, so that you get the best explication possible. Most people get stuck after following a tutorial, because they just copy-paste the steps without actually learning. But I designed my course with 50 plus challenges, specifically made for you to recap and practice each lesson, so you will learn how to make a big game with actual good design principles. You will also get guidance to continue working on your own on this project after we finish the course, and you also get some extra cheat sheets. Check the first thing in the description and it might have a special discount. See you there!